I'm Andrea Useem, and this is DevX Impact. We're here today with Ellen Lambert, the Executive Vice President of the Merck Foundation. Thanks for being here.
Welcome, it's a pleasure.
The role of global pharmaceutical companies has changed so much from donating medicine to now seeing emerging countries as emerging markets. From your position at the foundation, how have you seen that play out at Merck?
I think that you have to look at philanthropy still for what it is, philanthropy, even in the shared value space, even in the business space. There has to be some understanding of what's needed on the ground. It may not even be access to medicine if you can't get clean water or you don't have clean water to deliver babies. It might not be a diabetes medicine until there's enough food that changes the role of diabetes. But I do see the philanthropy position as potentially the first risk position, because with charitable dollars you can go into a place, invest in a local NGO or nonprofit, you can bring partners in, and you can actually get to see the culture and prepare your business partners back at the company for what they might not know exists there.
As the corporate social responsibility conversation turns more to that integrated model, talking about things being integrated in the business unit, what future do you see for corporate philanthropy?
I think that you need corporate philanthropy for a number of reasons. I don't think there's anything wrong with charity in the business world, first of all. I think we are too siloed when we say, okay, here's charity, here's the business, here's government, here's academia. I really recently see the best work being done by all four, partnering and layering. So I think there will always be a place for charitable or philanthropic dollars, but even better use is this first risk position. You can go out with a $150,000 contribution or a $25,000 contribution or a $1 million contribution into a marketplace and test the cultural issues. You can test the issues of access, you can test the frontline health worker response to it, you can test people's response to a product around their own health. And I think if we talk more in those terms, but still respect the charitable issues with philanthropy, we may end up in a more harmonious place.
If those partnerships are the future, what kind of professional skills do you see being important in that space? What kind of people are good at making partnerships work?
I think you have to be a visionary. I think very often you have to be willing to jump out the window, spread your arms, and take a chance, and be flexible enough to pick up the positive and the negative as you're falling down to earth. I think you have to, I teach at NYU, and one of the things I tell my students over and over again, if you don't see the opposite of what you think coming at you, then you don't have the solution yet. You really need to know 360 degrees of an issue, and you never will. But if you can know 300 degrees, maybe you're close. And if you know that someone else can add to that vision, always listening, but don't fail to act. Start acting, but leave room for other players in the mix. I think that's important.
What is the basis of your own willingness to take risks?
I think just trusting people based on their own knowledge of their communities, their immediate needs and the needs of their communities. I think too often when we hold the money, we think we know the answers, and I'm not sure we often do know the answers, but people living where there are recurrent mudslides, people living in flood zones or where there's a typhoon, people living through homelessness will be able to tell you a little bit more than you know. So I think that's where I got the courage.